Hey, Mega.
Yes, Gunner.
So we were missing for a week there, and nothing important or our values happened. I mean, we're in the slow season of the year, and there isn't anything that, we really need to talk about, is there?
It always seems to happen when we take off. Which is rare, I know.
Yeah, pretty rare. I mean, it's not like, we live every 6 weeks or so. But, you know what, let's do something different. Let's start the show. Hello everybody, and welcome to episode number 152 of We'll Be Serious. My name is Gunnar, that is Omega VR.
I feel with our show at a movie title, it would probably be 9.5 weeks. Of course, because I have Kim Basing's hair.
And I make you work.
So what?
Joining us this week is our wonderful technical producer, Mr. NDS.
So far, everything is nominal.
Also, we have Matt Jester.
Okay, between 9.5 weeks, 50 Shades of Grey, and whatever the hell else Sunny is doing on the internet, I feel a little exposed right now.
That's disgusting, and I never want to hear about that yet.
Yes, can you never use the words I feel or exposed ever again?
Can you do me a favor? Matt Jester, can you please read us some 50 Shades of Grey before the end of the show?
Oh, now you really want to kill all the rest of the people who subscribe to this podcast, don't you?
Yeah, both of them.
I dare you to do it subtly. I'm just saying. Alright, so let's get it with the news. The argument that saw Brock Lesnar walking on Raw 2 weeks ago was reportedly so severe that he and Vince McMahon were screaming to the point where people were concerned for Vince's well-being. It said he had a negative backing down what they wanted for a new deal, and McMahon was a little upset at Lesnar for appearing on camera at UFC 184. He reportedly told creative not to make any backup plans with something to the effect of they will sue Lesnar should he not show up at WrestleMania. It is unlikely anyhow due to the massive payday for Brock, but his future beyond the event is very, very, very uncertain. At that same Raw, saw a barely 30-second Divas match, which Nikki Bella addressed in an interview saying it was actually their idea, choosing to deliver the quick win to get heat rather than 3 to 4 minutes they were really given. She emphasized that they were now storytelling, and she felt that the Divas pay was not unfair, referencing AJ Lee's comments. It might not be for you, considering that, you get the total Divas stuff, but it probably is for the rest of the company. You dumb whores.
And also, when I think storytelling in the ring, I think Bella's.
She's also dating the highest paid performer, except for maybe Lesnar, but it probably is singing, shouldn't it be, between all of this.
Oh, yeah. The merchandising, there's no way anyone makes more than Cena if you take into account the merchandising.
He's doing really well because everything he owns is white.
Okay. Was that a cocaine joke?
Yeah. No, that was a reference to that really white closet that he had when they did the tour of his house on Total Divas that one time I happened to be catching while flipping through the channel because I don't watch.
There we go with that little piece of kayfabe again.
There's so many lies. So many lies.
Tell me about it. Anyway.
True Lies, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Please get movie references for the rest of the show.
Hey, damn good strip scene though.
Sure, if you're into that.
Anyways, back on topic here. The Brock Lesnar thing.
They should let him do UFC. Fuck it. Let him be WWE champ and, make UFC appearances, maybe have a match now or whatever. Because it's just more publicity for them. Especially if he can, sponsor. They sponsor him, they put their fucking logo across his ass, and what do you watch?
Vincent Kennedy McMahon, High Lord of Egomania for the United States of America, just this side of old red hair of Donald Trump, is going to actually let Brock Lesnar do that?
Well, you gotta think about it this way, too. Okay, so I wholeheartedly believe that Brock Lesnar could kick the shit out of Frank Mir any day of the week between now and the rest of the time. I believe this wholeheartedly, like the sky is blue and the water is wet. This is a foregone conclusion. However, there is that weird chance that, Brock might be off his game and some diverticulitis might kick in the middle of the match, and he might have to, go home or something. So, that could happen. If that does happen, however, Vince doesn't want to take the gamble, if you would. Because if your WWE champion gets knocked out by a UFC person, it makes your brand look absolutely terrible. And they will not be in that particular position. So I understand Vince's position completely. I also understand that Vince's position is that she wants to pay Brock less money. This is not a good thing. This is where I side with Brock on this one. Brock should be paid top fucking dollar. Brock Lesnar is the most badass motherfucker on this planet since they ruined Daniel Bryan. They can't push Roman Reigns because he is just awful. Not that he's awful, but he's not ready, and he's not there. And you want to sit here and make me believe that you're not going to pay the man who is quite possibly the most dominant force in professional wrestling and will be for the next couple of years? Are you serious, bro?
Here's the thing. I completely agree with you. They should definitely be paying him a lot of money because they need him a lot more than he needs WWE. There's no reason he couldn't just sit on his ass and do nothing for probably the rest of his life. Maybe making appearances now and again in places for a little extra cash or once in a car. He doesn't have to do anything. They need Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar needs the WWE, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you believe in the idea that they think Lesnar is their biggest star, then again, they put themselves in this scenario once again where they have to pay him what they've been paying him, and I understand why they wouldn't want to, cutting costs and all that, and plus the fact he runs a limited schedule, but again, that's the situation you put yourself in. And, I think worst case scenario, I don't think Brock's gonna not show up at Mania. I think that was, I don't think that would even really be a question if he hadn't, if not for the whole WrestleMania 20 thing, but in my mind, that is the worst case scenario, that he goes to WrestleMania 31 and phones in his performance, and, which is, it couldn't have come at the worst possible time in trying to, create a new star in Roman Reigns by having him beat Lesnar in such a lack. In a match, a lot of people don't think it's going to be very good in the first place. If Lesnar really doesn't put in a performance, then, it could be a complete and utter disaster.
Alright, well, we're probably going to move on, but I'd just like to say, if they're smart, they'll say, okay, we'll pay you the same, but maybe you can show up on Raw a few more times for us. Not even wrestle, just come in, stand in,
yeah. He does get paid about $200,000 to just stand there for 10 minutes while he does all the talking, so.
Which is a wonderful paycheck, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Speaking of contract disputes, Rey Mysterio is officially gone from the WWE, and his contract has expired. He is expected to wrestle primarily for AAA and become the new face of Lucha Underground as a result. Mysterio vs. El Patron was announced, Alberto Terminus was announced for the Northeast Wrestling on August 1st in Fishkill, New York, and he will team with Mystique, the former Sin Cara and Mystico at the May 23rd AAA show. He is asking $20,000 per appearance on the independent scene, and it's likely that number will have to come down. Dave Otis says Mojo has about 5 dates committed to Ring of Honor, and he will likely sign with WWE, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah.
Raw Nation is also finally on his way to WWE after rampant speculation. Jane Gibbs, the head of talent relations who had that position before being moved to running Triple H's office, was quietly released from WWE some time ago. And Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Chief Technology Officer Robin Peterson were all officially elected to WWE's Board of Directors.
This is good news.
A lot of this is.
Especially Trips and Steph getting to the board of directors, because that gives them quite a bit of power. And we've seen what Trips wants for the business and what he wants it to be with NXT. And I think if he has the power to do that, the company as a whole, to do things that it seems like he would like to do, I think the company would be in a much better place, not just financially, but as a whole with the wrestling and the...
So, real quick, does anybody know how many seats are on the BOD of the WWE?
No. It was really an inevitability, as barring some kind of shocking coup or takeover or something like that. It's the reality of those two taking over once Vince is gone. So I don't know. I kind of wonder sometimes, because I think Triple H is better in tune than Vince. I think he has a lot of brighter ideas. I think he's more with it. I think he's looking at all these independent stars. At the same time, I think, he also, he's like the McMahons themselves, Stephanie particularly, as well. If he thinks it's a good idea, then it's a good idea. He's not as, you'd like to think whoever replaced Vince would be more willing to kind of step back and say, well, this clearly isn't working, let's try it this way, even though it's not my idea. And I don't know if Triple H is that guy. I know Stephanie is that person.
I looked, it is 11 seats on the board of directors, and that is including Trips and Steph.
Okay. So, 13 seats, unlucky number, but okay.
Where are you getting 13?
Oh, you said including.
Yeah.
I thought you said, okay, that's not 11 plus Trips and Steph.
Right, it's 11 including. Most of these people are... Chief Technology Officer, blah, blah, blah. This guy was the Executive Vice President and Chief CFO of Six Flags, another guy from the Travel Channel, another guy from the Horror Channel. These guys are, they know their stuff. How is the Hallmark Channel still in the air? I mean, this is completely...
Because the History Channel can have a History Channel too. So, there you go. I just found out this weekend that there's a History Channel too. What the hell is on History Channel too?
Is it actual history stuff instead of reruns of Pawn Stars that I've seen 50 times already?
Anyway, moving on here. Yay, Rey Mysterio working in AAA. He also appeared at House Hardcore 8. And he'll be working, working with Sin Cara, Yay. Samoa Joe is surprising me. April 23rd, I think, is his last day out in the real world, and then he'll be in NXT forever. And we'll be fucking shit about the shit. Corporate Power discussed on MLW Radio that they produced 3 more shirt designs for John Cena and ownership of Punk design so that it would never outsell Cena's merchandise. He also brought up something that Scott Hall and Kevin Nash had told him of Vince McMahon, saying you'd rather have half of the arena of cheering who he wanted than a full arena cheering who they wanted. In regards to the Michaels Hard Iron match at WrestleMania 12 that people were walking out of. So in other words, Vince McMahon would rather have a whole bunch of people in his life that would agree with him than he would with a whole bunch more people. Excuse me. A whole bunch more people telling him what they want. Go figure.
As a person, as Vince McMahon as a person, and what I've heard about him over the years, this doesn't surprise me. As a businessman, wow, that is just the most ass backwards thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
It all kind of comes back around full circle, starring
Johnny Cash.
I was going to say Terry Polo, but yeah, that works.
The man was around Johnny Cash, yeah.
Right. And that was on Raw, too.
Exactly, that's why I said it.
It really does come around full circle. But yeah, I mean, this is the attitude, this idea of, and it's not just WWE, it's a lot of, frankly, corporate America, not even corporate America, but anybody, a lot of people who kind of get a position of power and influence, and then they kind of switch to, what is truly best, and they think what I want is what is best, and whether it's out of, egotism or just a general sort of, they really convince themselves that I got here because of me or my skills or whatever, and that's why I'm justified or whatever. But
holy shit! You guys, holy shit! Triple H as the head of the Authority is fucking Vince. Not like literally fucking Vince. He's Vince. He's Vince. He's doing what's best for business, and what's best for business is whatever he thinks is best. He's totally fucking Vince.
Well,
he's playing a Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. No, I think that's a little too.
I don't know meta.
Yeah, I think.
Well, I think it's a deliberate thing, but.
Well, the thing I always hated about the Authority storyline and everything is that it felt like, at least when Vince was the evil boss character and the corporation and all that, it felt like, everybody else was a stooge to him, essentially, at the end of the day. But, he gave his share of verbal lashings to Triple H, his main man. But at the same time, in general, the corporation helped their wrestlers and wanted them to succeed, and didn't necessarily make them look stupid. And I feel like that's all the Authority actually does to their people, except for maybe Seth Rollins. But he also gets made to look like a fool on a pretty regular basis. So. And,
go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, it all comes around this idea that Vince is stubborn. I think Triple H is more. Has a better mind for what he wants, but again, at the end of the day, it's going to be more what he wants.
Yeah, but what he wants seems to be, in my opinion, good.
Yeah, I think it's a little. It's like 60-40 right now, because I think it's good he's hiring all these popular people and everything, and he recognizes the merit in NXT, and supposedly he wants, more time with the women and things like that. But at the same time, I think. Time will tell, really, because at the end of the day, when he does, it's easy to say you'll do something, and then to get the job, and then when you have the job, and you don't really have to answer to anybody but yourself, then,
To finish this one up, they're producing more shirts for Cena, and then undershipping Punk shirt out of spite is a bitch move.
Yeah, and that's where it gets into the business side of it. It's one thing to maybe make Punk lose or book him in a stupid segment, but to actually, that's where you're losing money. You know what I mean? Or even that story about how they didn't ship Christian shirts when they were touring Canada, that one Canadian show, because they didn't think anybody would buy them, and they got asked about it all night long, stuff like that.
They cut their nose off to spite their face. Alright, I'm going to read this next one. Let's just like go without watching. There are reports that WWE is cracking down on network subscription sharing, allowing one broadcast per account at a time. After losing out on the Izod Center, SummerSlam was official for the Barclays Center in Brooklyn this August, as part of the deal to bring WrestleMania to Santa Clara. WWE are getting Levi's Stadium and the SAP Center rent-free. Wilson Capital LLC has sold a massive amount of shares of WWE stock, only retaining a single share. The Rock and his $7 Productions have signed a deal with Spike for potential projects. Vince Russo has left his website Pyro and Ballyhoo, claiming he had been locked out of his accounts. His partner, Chris Cash, claims they were meant to be 50-50 partners, and after months of working on the back end for free, asked Russo for fair compensation, which resulted in the shutdown. This last bit here, if this has kind of happened to me before, where I've done a bunch of back-end work on something, and someone else who was supposed to be the partner all along at the end is just like, oh, look what I've done, and they haven't done anything. So I have changed, information in their profile so that they cannot get into their account and ban their IP until the issue was resolved. This guy did it the right way. Sure, maybe it's petty, maybe it's a dick move, but, I mean, not going to work for free.
Dope. What do you expect from Russo? I mean, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's Russo.
Oh, I mean, I kind of feel, Russo, I'm not the biggest fan in the world of, but I thought this, new project of his was looking good until, oh, crap, this happened. And then that last thing with freaking China, that semi-shoot interview, wow, ouch.
What I don't understand is why he didn't just pay the man.
Right. The money's not there.
Well, I think so.
Go ahead.
Money.
Damn it.
Omega first. That's what do you call it?
Oxymoron.
Yeah, that's it.
It's an oxymoron.
Yeah,
like Net Jester.
Like Net Jester when he's treating his acne.
Yes, I'm just seeing Spider-Man try to make a pass at a female Spider-Man. There's nothing you could say right about now that wouldn't unscrew my head.
It has always been a fantasy of mine to be a sex slave with two heirs, one male and one female.
What an nerd.
Can we just be the fucking nerds?
Russo as a wrestling character. I think because he's just so notorious in everything that he's done, I think he has merit there as a character. If a promotion brings him in to be their fake GM and have nothing legitimate to do with the back end, then that's great. Because people know who he is and enjoy him as kind of screw up he is. But as a person, as a professional, he's really kind of a scumbag at this point. I mean, he lied about the TNA thing, and he passed the buck completely. And now this whole thing with the website, I mean, hearing both sides of it, Russo doesn't really have a defense other than, I was going to, or I thought we were friends, or this or that. I mean,
Cheap Russo is cheap.
I can see if the money isn't there, and if that's the case, then you just gotta say, look, dude, we're not getting the views right now, our bounce rate is crazy, or whatever. and just be like, look, we're not getting the ad revenue in yet. The ad revenue that we are getting in is going all towards the hosting and the server costs. So it is what it is. I don't even get money out of it yet, and he shouldn't be. If he's not paying the guy that did all the back end work, he shouldn't be getting any money either. But, he's going to say, look, we're not getting the money yet. We made this investment. We're going to run into the red for a minute. But eventually, the views will come up. We'll get more ad impressions, and we'll be in the black, and we'll be able to, split this up. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, let's wrap this up, because I'm sick of talking about him, and so many assholes for not paying him.
Yeah, and the main issue, I guess, is Russo seems to think this guy pushed him too early, like as you say, the money wasn't there, but the guy should have an idea of how much money is coming in, how much is... And it has been up for, a year now or so, right?
Well, yeah, but, sort of, I could go look at the Alexa ratings, but, I don't know.
Well, even so, I think some kind of... I don't think this guy is such a jerk that he would go from being one of his good friends one day to, oh, wait a minute, I'm still not getting paid. Paying that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'm sure it's Russo's fault.
Alright, next up on the dossier, which is French for docket.
Shut up, shut the fuck up and actually read the news.
It is, Chikara announced the return of the King of Trios in East Pennsylvania this year from September 4th through the 6th, and that the Bullet Club, comprised of AJ Styles and Young Bucks, are the first trio entered. Lana and Rusev, who are dating, bought an 11.56 acre house together in Nashville for $644,000. Adult film company Brazzers made an offer to Dolph Ziggler for him to wear branded tights on Raw. After pro wrestling teams took down all the Bullet Club parody shirts, possibly underwears from New Japan's office, WWE registered a trademark don't-click NWO hand gesture, the same one that Bullet Club uses and is featured on some of their official shirts. And Boston rap artist Esoteric said in an interview that John Cena fought for a heel turn about 5 years ago, which would have seen him return to his battle rap persona, but it was shot down by management.
Last one doesn't surprise me. What is all this branding shit going on? Come on, guys, get your shit together. And the Wolfpack, the hand signal click thing is different, in my opinion, than to the other thing, to the Bullet Club version. And it's all about positioning. And I bet you anything can make Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby and Under Pressure argument here. And I bet you'll do that at some point or another. But either way, the Bullet Club all up in our news this week. And have any of you guys been watching New Japan lately? I mean, they just had their cup.
No, sorry.
I was at Chikara this past weekend. It was a really great show. And I think they're back in business as far as, if they lost anybody from the whole shutdown thing, I think they're back on track.
Hold on. I wasn't paying attention because I was looking at the Alexa ratings. Brazzers made an offer to Ziggler for branded tights. Please, God, let this happen. Please let this happen.
Well, you know it's not.
Vince, if you hear my voice, let this happen. Please.
The most that'll happen is Ziggler will have Ziggler, the word Ziggler on his tights.
Right.
It'll be
like the Brazzers logo. I'd be okay with that too.
And only because Vince doesn't know what it is, and he didn't tell anybody beforehand.
And as far as I'm trying to trademark the NWO click hand gesture, I don't know how they're going to be able to do that, because I'm pretty sure that is the international shadow puppet dog. Like,
I went to school that was the Wolfpack, and we did that. And we had shirts with that, hand on it, so I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get it.
Unless it's specifically for purposes of wrestling.
Right. In which case they could register it for that purpose, and I guess that would be fine. But if anybody should get the trademark on that, it's Nash and Trips and
absolutely.
Kid and
No, you're right. You're right.
Well, they said before that, or Nash said before, there's mutual respect between the two factions. It's just a matter of WWE trying to, I guess, pad their pockets.
Right, I'm sure that's what it is. Okay, real quick before we get into the 15-minute time limit, for those of you nerds out there who are into development, the Pyro Ballet site has a 50% bounce rate, which is absolute shit. The average time on the site is less than 3 minutes by 2 seconds, and the average clicks per user is 2. So if they're generating any money at all, I am fucking impressed.
Which means they're not. Which means that's why he hasn't gotten paid at all in a year. But we're not surprised with this at all. Okay, guys, let's do it. 15-minute time limit. I know. This will become a 15-time limit. We're going to be talking about a subject that is near and dear to our hearts, and something that we understand completely and totally. Or we think we don't understand this at all. It's fucking Build-A-Mont, and why we was employed for so long.
Okay, now I need to make a little bit of disclosure here for those of us in the peanut gallery who don't quite understand all of this. I just found out by reading the format here that Build-A-Mont was whichever. But I did hear on 420 Chan's Woo Wrestling Board, plug, that Smith Hart, oldest of all the Hart brothers, had an interview where he talked about DeMott and how horrible of a wrestling coach and pretty much a performer he was. And the next thing I know, I'm hearing now that Build-A-Mont is gone. Where was the A, B, and C here? What was the timeline?
The quick recap of what happened is basically former developmental talent Judas Devlin kind of came out and said, when I was there, I sent this letter to management, which kind of detailed what I felt were inappropriate actions by head coach Bill DeMott, which include things like, excessive force. He would say he would make homophobic and racial jokes. He would pick on people basically, and worst of all, he would, if somebody was injured or couldn't do something, he would basically hammer them to keep doing it. Or in the case of Riley Pierce, who is Dolph Ziggler's brother, he had a leg injury, and supposedly DeMott at one point kicked him in the leg injury. For whatever reason, basically a lot of inappropriate stuff. And the idea is, it's kind of this mentality of the old school trainer who, basically beats the hell out of his trainees, and it's supposed to be for making them better, obviously, but basically in this current age when, certain things are more inappropriate, and, words, and particularly actions when you're dealing in a physical sport. That was the whole thing. Basically, Devlin sent a letter, and that kind of, for years there's been all this talk of DeMott, back when he was in Deep South, they actually fired him and shut down Deep South. And then, of course, they brought him back for the Be Tough Enough, that they put him in NXT as the head coach, and these kind of things started to crop up again. And after Devlin said this, more people kind of made hints to it. For example, Eva Lisa Velez said that she was the first to stand up and she lost everything for it. Of course, when she got released, there were rumors that she had a bad attitude, but, if you have a bad attitude to an inappropriate coach, then, that kind of thing. Even Devlin himself said, when it comes to the letter, he thought, he said he wasn't upset. Well, basically, it's not, what happened was he felt that management had simply told DeMott of the letter and allowed DeMott to, as the accused, to basically conduct the investigation and interrogate him alone in his office, where he definitely claims DeMott kept a gun in his desk. And so for fear of his career and his life, he basically denied everything. And his PR letter kind of became the butt of DeMott's new jokes and abuse, if that's, basically what you want to call it. So long story short, here with all those details is DeMott, inappropriate actions as a coach, more and more development of people make hits to it. Other people weighed in, Bob Holly of all people said that when he did a guest spot at the training that he heard these stories and heard they were true, and he didn't say he thought they weren't, he just said he heard about them, so. And, long story short, amid all these rumors and everything, and DeMott announced he was stepping down, and he's gone from WWE completely right now.
Wowzy, wow. Well, I did not hear anything about a gun in his desk. Damn. But, yeah.
Well, it's not like he pulled it on anybody.
No, but he did tell Enzo Amore to go fucking die.
That's fucking harsh. But, I mean, that's not the same thing as I'll kill you, for sure.
And I'm totally blanking on his name, but he talked with Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer, on an Observer Radio update. He was a former creative contributor, and assistant to Dusty Rhodes. Basically what he said was, he knew there were inappropriate things, and it wasn't so much that they happened, it was the fact that how they were handled. He felt that certain things didn't really get addressed properly. He knew about the letter, and he hadn't read it until now when it's out. But and one thing that he said, that there was a comment at one point where one of the developmental guys had a finisher named the Davy Boy after Davy Boy Smith. And DeMott made a joke, something like, the Davy Boy, is that where you lie curling on the lawn, or something inappropriate like that, in reference to Davy Boy Smith's, problems and everything. And what he took issue with was when WWE puts out a release and says something like there was no evidence of wrongdoing. Don't say that. Don't say there was no wrongdoing. Say that we investigated and we took care of it and we found things out and we took care of it. Not that nothing happened, because that joke was in front of a room of 25, 30 people. So it's not like it didn't happen, and it's not like there's only one person to corroborate it.
Well, if only one of those people is willing to admit that joke happened, then I'm not saying it didn't. I'm just devil's advocate here. If one person will say, there was 30 people in there that heard the joke, and then all those other 30 people are like, no, I don't know nothing about that, then, they don't really have evidence that thing happened. So that's what they have to do. They have to go in and they have to go, okay, this stuff happened. Did you see anything like this? If you did, tell us. And then if they can't find any evidence of that stuff happening, then they didn't find evidence of the wrongdoing. They're not saying no wrongdoing happened. They're saying they can't prove it.
That was another thing. I think somebody came out and said, and again, I'm blanking on these names, but somebody came out and said, somebody with authority said, I gave an opportunity to say, if anything, if there's anything against Bill you want to tell me, or if there's anything this or that, then step up. And I think only one person did. He said only Paige said something. There was an issue with one of the strength and conditioning coaches that they felt had been harassing female talent, and that was sort of an issue too. That DeMott didn't do anything about that. But the long and short of this whole thing is basically, it was not a bad coach in the sense that not that he trained them poorly, but that his behavior was so inappropriate. And B, this argument of, it is 2015 now, is people kind of have come out in Moss defense and say, that's the old school mentality, this and that. Even Chris Jericho made a tweet that he later deleted saying that he thought his friend Mott was a good trainer and that he got way worse training with the Hearts, which he didn't really train with the Hearts necessarily. He trained with some Hearts, and he got stretched and everything. But other people would fight back and say, there's a difference between being stretched by a legend and being, abused by a fat idiot, basically.
Well, I guess that depends on your perspective of which do you think is worse.
Yeah, it is hilarious to do.
F-slur by Bill Mott, where he gets stretched by, I don't remember which part it was, but I remember when I was reading his book, I was like, who's that?
I actually like to sum up my thoughts that are echoed by One Lance Storm. This is from his Facebook page. I think the dumbest thing about this whole Bill Mott controversy is that the people who weren't there firsthand are coming out 100% on either side of this issue. There is such a thing as overly demanding abuse of training, and there are people who are entitled whiners who are too soft for this industry. Thinking this case is 100% one and 0% the other is absolutely asinine. Unless you actually know the people involved and witness the situations firsthand, you simply don't know. And that's the problem that we have here. Don't know what happened, and we have all these people coming out saying all these things about this guy. And at the end of the day, it could be that they are all talking about this guy because he didn't do it. Is that likely? No, of course not. Because he said he left them in the WWE and he's gone from his trainer position, replaced by Tensai. I personally agree with that because, he's there anyways all the fucking time. All the fucking time. Go figure. But at the end of the day, this old school mentality of you gotta stretch everybody and you gotta make people, be tough and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. I shouldn't... Look, I understand its place, and I understand the purpose, but I don't understand why it's still okay in present society. I know why. Well, beyond stretching, it's beyond the stretching, though. It's not even that. It's not even the fact that you're getting stretched. That's a part of the business. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, things like, the verbal abuse, and all that. There may be some validity to that, to a certain extent. Obviously, not using racial slurs or homophobic slurs or being misogynistic, because those things are bullshit to do or be. But to a certain extent, I can see how being telling people they're weak or if they fuck up the way they can hurt somebody, telling you're fucking stupid, get out of my fucking ring, that level of just being intense and yelling at people and screaming at them and maybe calling them names. I can understand that because you're going to have these people in front of thousands of people, millions of people on TV potentially, and if they're going to get butthurt and cry every time somebody boos them, then they don't need to be there.
Well, here's the thing when it comes to the verb stuff. I mean, WWE just this past week joined a campaign to get rid of the, quote, R word.
You're talking about retard?
Yeah.
You're talking about retard, right?
Yes. And,
that's retarded.
And the whole crux of their public facade in the past, 5 years or so, has been a public face of we don't like bullying, we don't like abusers, we don't like mean things.
Be a star.
Yeah, and if you have a head trainer who is all those things, no matter how good he trains or how successful people who come out of his camp are, I mean, that's from a business, from a public PR standpoint, you just can't have that. And that's probably why, frankly, he was so quick to step down, because a lot of people were speculating it was more of a, you either step down or you're fired type of thing.
And he'll be well taken care of.
I mean, guys like Storm, and everybody has an opinion, Storm said some, no disrespect, said some pretty goofy things himself. By the way, it was Rob Naylor was the creative assistant at NXT I was talking about.
Wasn't Storm the one that said, when I talked about Billbot doing those things, nobody believed me, but now everyone believes?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what side that he's on. But he makes a point, but it's a pretty common point. I mean, that's true of anything. If you weren't there, then you don't know. I mean, that's just the reality of it. That being said, there's no smoke without fire. And, even
unless it's been blowing up your ass.
Yeah, well, Halo even said one time he was told to find a room. Triple H told him to find a room so that he could talk to Bill in private, and he didn't look happy. And he was sure that Triple H took care of it, whatever that was about, specific issue, whatever. I guess all I can say about it, beyond the PR replications, is if I, as somebody who's never trained to wrestle or anything, if I was trained to wrestle, I would fully expect to, I would fully expect to get beat up, basically, to do tons of exercise, to get yelled at like a drill sergeant. I mean, that's the Army mentality, too. Drill sergeants, they say and do things that aren't necessarily PC at times, but that's what they feel gets results and such. And I would go in fully expecting that, and I might not like it, but I would respect the fact that that's the process. And then ultimately what was happening was to get me, to the other side of the rainbow, so to speak. The only thing I really take big umbrage with is the idea that Tomac was actually physically hurting people for his own amusement, or physically targeting the injured.
That's absolutely fine.
Yeah, that's the part that I think, above all the other stuff, because words are words, I mean, not that he should be saying those things, but words are words. If you're going to kick me in my injured leg, then, at the end of the day, no matter what you do to me as coach, good or bad, negative or positive, happy or angry, it should be A, out of respect, and B, to make me better. And there's nothing respectful or making me better about, kicking me while I'm down, basically. And if that's what the mom's doing, then there's no way he should have been there. In any school, really. Much less the one as public as WWE.
Right. Also, Kinsai is head trainer now.
Yeah, he's filling in while they... I wouldn't be surprised if they just let him do it.
Yeah, I'm sure he's more than competent enough.
Yep, considering his experience, 15 to at least 15, 20 years in business in the WWE and a lot of time in Japan. Legit. But, at the end of the day, what this teaches us is that there's still an old guard, and I'm going to talk about that here for a second. So, what we understand now is that there's this old guard in wrestling that is slowly dying out. We saw it more maybe 5 or 6 years ago in the old WWE locker room, especially when JBL was still there, on top of his game. It's this, old boys mentality where they believe that because they spent all this time, in the business, and because they deserve all this respect. Alright, well, there's no charge. Stop it. Stop it.
It's annoying even for you, Yankum.
Alright. Time limit. Dick. That's a 15-minute time limit. I mean, at the end of the day, what it really is just goodbye old school, hello new school.
I don't know what time limit.
Nobody's saying you have to be weak or, be nice to everybody, but, if you're calling a foreign talent a terrorist, or if you're, breaking a yardstick over their back, if they mess up, then,
A yardstick? That doesn't...
It hurts. It fucking hurts.
I would take that.
You would, but that would suck the
It was one time, it was Valentine's Day, and I was lonely. Leave me alone.
talk about too much information.
Jesus Christ. I want an ice cream.
I want an ice cream too. It's for my ass.
It's time for the Dairy Queen drive-thru with ratings and Yankum.
Alright, so last one is Impact. Here we go. It got an average of 421,000 viewers. That's actually an increase from the previous week's 366,000. SmackDown, Thursday's SmackDown, scored a 1.94. That's up from last week's 1.86. The show averaged around 2.694 million viewers, which is up from the 2.624 of the previous week. And last night's Raw averaged 3.859 million viewers, up less than a percent from last week's 3.825 million viewers.
And with birthdays, Jester.
Or as I like to call him, Tuesdays with Mormori.
Say what?
That was a book, wasn't it?
It is.
Sorry guys, I was a little distracted. Do you know in fan fiction it's actually a thing that Spider-Man is dating a human version of Twilight Sparkle?
Can you fucking not?
Can you read the birthdays?
Okay.
It's a really one responsibility that we give you.
Well, I'm just gonna fuck it up anyway.
Relax.
Did you know in my fan fiction, Manchester is actually quite a handsome fellow and confident and runs the podcast and
I'm just a little bit
No, let's be perfectly frank. That's Yankum's duty on this show, the low-level troll. Anyway, birthdays.
that's the title, Yankum's Duty.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a fitting title for that Jester. Yankum's Duty.
Jeez. Oh, yeah! I got one of these fan fictions on the air, you know.
No.
Anyway. I will continue if you let me. Anyway, on the 5th, we have none other than Headbanger Mosh, also known as Chad. Then on the 6th of this month, we have Mr. Pornography himself, Mr. Val Venus, and Killer Khan. Exactly. And none other than the Nature Boys boy, David Flair, and none other than Santino Marella, the miracle from Masala himself. And on the 7th, we have Major Guns and the amazingly bad face-painted Brother Love. No one has a birthday on the 8th, at least that we know of, but on the 9th is Rick Steiner, Melina... okay. And also on the 9th, we have none other than the Russian Nightmare, Nikita Koloff, one of my personal favorites. And, first spelling challenge time, El Avreno. Is that right?
I think you have dyslexia, but Averno.
Okay. On the 10th, we have Payoff Jr., and I know that one's right because I've heard you guys say it before. On the 11th, we have Johnny Fairplay. And yes, I've seen that guy, especially when he went head-to-head with that guy from, what was it, Partridge Family. Anyway, on the 12th, we have Mae Young. I don't think I call that to Mae Young. I mean, okay.
That's fucked. Guys.
Continuing, and Eric Stevens.
That was not me. That was you.
And Nunzio. And Nida, or Nada, I think. Nydia. Of course, who could forget her? And their takeout sessions with Jamie Noble. Yes, and I tried. Trust me. On the 12th, we have Hideo Itami. And I heard that one pronounced too. And also, we have an Arquila. Is that right?
You were pretty close.
Anarquila. Okay.
No, there's no fucking hell.
Anarchy.
It's like anarchy, but anarchia.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
No, we don't need Scott Steiner giving spelling lessons. I'm in enough trouble as it is. Continuing, on the 13th, we have Matt Jackson. On the 14th, we have none other than Mr. A-Bomb, Brian Clark, and the lovely Beulah McGillicuddy. Then on the 15th, we have I'm going to make you humble. None other than the man, the myth, the legend himself, the Iron Sheik. Yeah, I was going to do that. You just beat me to the soundboard. On the 16th, we have Henry O. Godwin, otherwise known as Hogg. Then Brett DiBiase and Ken... Doney? Is that right? Doan. Okay. Anyway, on the 17th, we have none other than the Simone Submission Machine, Samoa Joe, and Test.
Did you skip Brett DiBiase?
No, I didn't skip dead Brett DiBiase.
No,
I said it before. I said it before Ken Doan because I thought,
Yeah, Ken Doan. You know Kenny from the Cheer Squad?
Oh, God. You had to remind me of him, didn't you?
Fuck you, we're wrong! Fuck you, we're right!
And now it is time for This Week
I think your test did just get skipped.
with Omega BR. I think
Or Lisa.
No, we said it. Yes, this week in wrestling history, circa 2002, where Dan Severn won the NWA title from Shinya Hashimoto. Jump to 2004, where American Dragon Bryan Danielson and Hurricane defeat Gedo and Jado to win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. And in 2005, during a SmackDown taping, JBL blew up the spinner version of the United States Championship that John Cena had used while he was champion and presented new champion Orlando Jordan with the current version we know today. When General Manager Theodore R. Long offered Cena a rematch with Jordan instead of a match he won with JBL, Cena, ever the gracious person he is, gave Long the attitude adjustment. And that was this week in wrestling history.
Are we sure Cena's not a heel anymore? I mean, after all that especially.
I know, right? We need more. Let's just put it on that.
Oh, sorry, you banned my soundboard. I'm supposed to do anything.
Well, you don't do anything else except fuck up the birthdays. Speaking of fucking up,
Happy Trails. Happy Trails is longtime teenage producers Brian Edwards and Steve Marchetti who have left the company. And also Happy Trails Hulk Hogan, who had been raised in his honor at Madison Square Garden as a appreciation night. The band was all down, and they were moved when the movies played permanently. Also, Happy Trails to the service of Wiz Khalifa, who last night Raw performed his song Super Fucking High.
I fell asleep. Literally, I don't even...
Yeah, I was in the bathroom for that one.
Apparently, it was confirmed on Twitter.
Oh, well, of course he was stoned. I mean, he's Wiz Khalifa. Thank you. Can we get an air horn? I know you got the air horn. You gotta have the air horn.
I don't have the air horn.
You don't have the air horn? Oh,
I'd like to request some Boo-Lazoolas.
No, boo.
What did you watch this week in wrestling at Wester?
The only thing I'll say about Wiz Khalifa is I thought, are we getting a new wrestler by the name of Khalifa whose gimmick is taking a whiz? Anyway!
There's no she's a girl. So moving on.
Being I'm not banned this week by Gunner saying anything ridiculous like, hard mode, I'm going to go back to my immense DVD collection. From Heart and Soul, the Hart Family Anthology, a 3-disc set. One of the better ones on here is Bret the Hitman Hart, plus Owen Hart, plus the British Bulldog, versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, and Dude Love. This was a 6-man tag team capture the flag match from Raw on July 21st, 1997.
Yeah, a bunch of matches in wrestling. Alright, we want watched the United States celebration from Monday Night Raw. I believe it was like June or July 2006.
Yeah, I was just trying to Google that.
No, it was right after they won Edge one title. It was in January or very early February.
Oh, that would be January something 2006.
Yep, after New Year's Revolution.
I just saw it. It earned that Raw 5.2 rating.
Okay, and
Who would like to see what's her name topless?
stop it. What you watch this weekend? Wrestling?
Lita, excuse me.
Well, once they're up on Chikartopia, you can watch the events from this weekend. And they should be up very soon. You could even buy individual matches. And if I had to pick one match from that event, I'd say, how about the Four Corners tag between Princess Kimberly and Terrence Cottonelly versus the BDK versus Jaka and Flex Rumble Crunch and the final team of Fire Ant and Worker Ant. And the BDK comprised of Yaka Heimeyer and Pete Sanchez.
I found it.
Okay, go ahead.
It would have been in January, because it was, I think, it says the January 16th edition of Raw was when Edge started calling himself the most watched champion ever. So the previous week's Raw would have been January I was waiting for you guys to do the math. I don't do math. Let's do this. Okay, I'm going to do this Steiner math then. So you got the January 16th edition, right? You go back 7 days. That's 2 weeks. 2 weeks is a third of a month. A third of a month is 6/10 of a year. That's 22%. Do I need to keep going?
Oh, God.
It would have been the second episode of
I'm really glad that you guys didn't pick this, because I'm picking this right fucking now. Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman promo from the last night of Raw, because I want Paul Heyman to follow me around and dictate the things that I'm doing in my life.
With commentary.
With commentary. And call him the reigning defending blah 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 whatever.
He can call him the reigning defending champion of out of shape.
Of macaroni
nerds. I could be the reigning defending champion of overweight, lazy nerds who watch too much wrestling and talk about it entirely too much on the internet, and I would be fine with that because he would make it sound awesome.
He would. Alright, I think that's it. We're done here. Thank you all for listening. SmartHeart.com, Twitter.com/SmartHeart, Facebook.com/SmartHeart. You can email us at SmartHeart@gmail.com. Coming up here. I don't know. Coming up here in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be doing episode number 154. We're going to be doing a role-playing game, which is a wrestling role-playing game, which Jacob is going to be dungeon mastering, and we are going to be playing as wrestlers, which should be fun.
I intend to TPK.
paper?
Jesus Christ, just hold on. Just be here next week. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you give us a phone call, 812-408-9666, or that is 812-408-WOO.
Woo! You gotta do it right.
Hold on. I'll do it right.
He's going to continue.
Alright, Alright, thank you all for listening, and we wish you the best in your past, present, and future endeavors.
I could say something funny about Bill DeMott here, but all I'll say is, na 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 na, hey, goodbye.
Good night, Elon.
I was trying to kick AJ.
Successful, wasn't it?
Well,